Hello and welcome to True Connection with Animals. And my name is Berit Børte. I am a biodynamic craniosacral therapist for both people and animals. And I have a great passion for how we can co-create together in a maybe even better way than we have done so far. And how we can also develop ourselves in this co-creation with the animals. So yes, and I also do energy medicine, and energy medicine you can also do remotely. So I'm working both hands-on but also remotely. So, and Carmen, will you present yourself?
Yeah, my name is Carmen Germaine Kadim, and we both live in Norway. And I have been since 1989 working with people. I'm what you call sports massage, reflexology, aromatherapy, Rosen method. And I started to work with animals in 1997 in canine massage. I built up a school that's called the Nordic Canine Massage School, and I've written 500 pages in anatomy, physiology, and different techniques, treatments on dogs. And also canine rehabilitation. I've also taken education in craniosacral therapy and in osteopathic techniques. I use them on the animals. So today I don't work with people, I only work with animals. And I also work with the laser treatments, and I teach these things to my students, but I treat dogs. I have today 4 dogs, and that is hunting dogs. And I've been training hunting dogs professionally for people for many, many years. I don't do that anymore. And through working with dogs, and especially other people's dogs, has taught me a lot. And when I started to work with dogs with hands-on, like canine massage, I started to see them totally differently. It was like I started to see them because often when we train the dogs, we use different kind of equipments to train them, but we don't, because we want a result, but we don't always see the animals. So when I started to touch the animals through canine massage, through this soft way of touching them, I started to see them differently. I also took an education in Denmark and in the States that's called equine assisted psychotherapy. And that was really interesting, because then they were using horses to heal people from trauma, children and people with different trauma, by using horse to heal. So when I wrote on the Facebook that animals are healers, is because we can use them as healers, and that's what they do in the equine assistant psychotherapy, I can't say honestly. And but also, I wouldn't have been here today if it hadn't been for animals. The reason why I survived my life this long is because I had animals when I was a child. And when the environment I was living in was pretty tough, and I could go out to the animals, it was like that was totally upside down world, because animals, they treated me differently. So, and through different things that happened in my life, animals has been there and they've helped me. And that's why I feel so much gratefulness towards animals. And I think we have to learn to see animals differently and be more grateful because with what they have to learn us. And that's what about when Berit and I was discussing about this true connection with animals, was because we both understood, we both saw animals in the same way. Isn't that, yes. So, and that's why when I teach my students, I always have a hidden mission. And the hidden mission is not just to teach them a technique, how to give the animal massage, but is to teach them how to see their animals. Because when they see the animals, who the animals truly are, they change. And then they treat the animals a better way. And then they maybe treat other people a better way. So that is the hidden mission in what I'm doing when I work with animals. Is there anything you want to say to contribute?
Yeah. It's to listen, to have an openness when we are listening into what they are communicating with us, which is to not have this expectation that it should be in like this or this form, or when we open up more, we will also understand more what they are trying to teach us in many ways. So I can also say a little bit more about the biodynamic craniosacral therapy, which are not I'm not manipulating anything in this type of craniosacral therapy. So here is totally the animal who is doing the whole thing. I'm just holding the space for this animal or this people I'm working with. So it can come back into balance again by itself. So all kinds of unbalances are the animal or the people knew exactly how it comes out of balance, and also how it can come back into balance again. So that's how I'm working, and also that we have all these resources in ourselves, and of course also the animals. So we can see great results when we are having this bigger approach to it, because traumas can be emotional, but it can also be, of course, a physical trauma, and it can be both. Because of this physical trauma, it can also be an emotional trauma, and so on. So it's a broad spectrum of type of issues where the problem can be. And we also have fascia in our whole body, and the animals have the same. And if you have problems in the head, you can have problems towards the whole body, and that's also the same case with animals. So it's to see the animals as a whole, and also to listening in a very as more infinite as better in a way, and try to figure out what the animal are communicating with us.
Yeah, that's so important what you say that, because it's about the emotional trauma also animals can have, and that is not many people talk about that part of the animals, because we always talk about the physical part, and use the as I say, canine massage that's not a technique. It is a technique, but I try and teach my students that it's more than a technique, because you listen through your hands to what the problem is and the issue is, and as you said, emotional trauma that also animals can have, and it's into listen. Because I have to give an example. I was giving treatment to a dog the other day, a Rottweiler, and I was giving him her craniosacral therapy, because all the bones in the head was out of balance. And when I was treating her, I didn't know much about this dog. Always you only get the physical issues. It's limping and so on. That's the physical issues you get. You don't get, and sometimes you ask about the mental part. And but when I was working with the dog, I got up the kind of feeling, emotion of grief, and I just had to ask the owner, is there anything around grief around your dog? I asked her, and then yes, it was she had lost a dog the year before that this dog was very connected to, and she had some puppies, a litter, and she had lost several of the puppies. And so when I was working with her and she came back a few days later, then it seemed that it had been balanced out. And then in the next treatment, I was continuing working with the physical issues on the dog. But then we suddenly, and the owner could also feel that it was just like something landed, like the dog came into a really deep relaxation, understand? So emotions go both physically, but also emotions. And we must not forget that animals also have emotions. And you can just see a dog or a horse or whatever, or a cow or sheep, whatever, when they're together with them, the lamb or their foal or their puppy or whatever. But you can also see that there is a love and affection between them. You can see the mother that is really, really loves her dog or foal or whatever. And so you can really see the emotions in them. So they do have emotions. And when I was working with the Rosen methods, we were working on people, and it was to find where the blockages was in the breathing. And I learned that many muscle tensions in the body can come from emotional trauma. So you have to release that part. You can't just give them massage, but still the trauma is stuck in the body. And then it wouldn't help to give them massage or a kind of adjustment or whatever, because you have to also connect with that emotional part too. And as you said, the physical part, because everything is a whole, everything is interconnected. There is no difference. And then I find it so interesting to work with animals and also people because it is to find where is the problem, in which level is the problem, and then to work from there. And that's why I love to work with these different techniques, because then you can find where the problem is a superficial, or is a very, very deep problem. And to find, is it a visceral problem, kind of? And I find this so interesting, because when you release these things in animals, you also release the mental part of the animals. And you've seen that in horses, haven't you? Because you work with horses.
Yes, absolutely. And it can be a totally block of the whole fascia. And if it's in the chest area, it will be a problem for the rest of the, like horse, the rest of the body of the animal. So yeah, it's a lot. And also if animals are behaving not nice or not so good, I would say most of the cases are because they are not good. They have some problems in their body, emotional or physical, or both, or yeah. And then they will also be maybe a trouble in towards other animals. So we have seen this now in different cases where, like horses, they are together with other horses, and if one of them is not feeling or having a good life, then it's a problem for the other horses. And when this problem is solved, then they are totally fine again, and they are happy. Yeah, so it's very, very necessary to have this broader perspective of what's the issue here, because we are not nice either when we have problems in our body. So or we can be nasty when we have some problems because we are not feeling good. It's we have pain, we have yeah, it's hard, and it's hard also for the animals to have this.
Yeah, and we see that now. Before, for many years ago, they said that when a dog got older and he got a bit aggressive, And but then they didn't know about they could have any physical issue that made them aggressive. But another case with the animals, because I also said that animals are teachers, and they have taught me a lot. And when we listen to them, and I have, as I said, 4 dogs, and genuine, the dogs are a very kind species, actually. They're very kind, actually, and friendly. You do have aggressive dogs. I don't say you don't have, but they are very kind. My dogs are very kind. You met my dogs. And they teach me kindness and unconditional love, because you can do bad things to them. You can have a bad day, and they never turn their back on you, whatever. So I can always, I study my dogs, and if they are everything is in balance and everything is okay, then I know, okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when I'm not okay, they can show me, then things can go wrong. So they keep me in balance all the time. So they teach me kindness and unconditional love, and also gratefulness.
Mm.
And I think that's very important things that we need to develop in ourselves. Kindness, gratefulness, unconditional love, and no expectations. And we can learn that from animals, from listening to them. And I do that so much that because I know, oh, now today I don't feel bad, I don't feel very kind, I don't feel very good. But the animals show me it every day, and they remind me of it. So I always work all the time to become a better person. And that they are teaching me.
Mm.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's very important, that we also embrace ourselves, and because when we are being kinder to ourselves, and also then it will reflect on everything else in life as well. And yeah, we have a lot of type of programs, you might say, where we have all stuff, all the bagage we have with us from a long time before we are here, maybe. And this, if we are interested in doing something with this bagage we have with us, then it's getting to get lighter and lighter, and it's getting, my experience is I'm getting more and more in contact with who I am really, and all the other stuff is getting away, and it's getting, yeah, it feels better and better. And I also feel my health is getting better and better because of this. And yes.
Yeah, and I think it's a great healing to be in nature and to be with animals. That's very much great healing, because we are nature. We're not disconnected. I studied Buddhism for many years, and my Buddhist teacher, he was talking about the Buddha nature. And I was a bit confused. Buddha nature, what do you mean with Buddha nature? You think that that's something high up, or somewhere else, or in Nepal or Tibet or whatever? And he said that what they meant with the Buddha nature was that that's your true nature, and your true nature is connected with nature. And that made very much sense for me, because that's how I felt all my life, connected to nature. So to connect with nature and together with animals, that keeps us very grounded. And for me, it's easier to connect with myself. If I go to city, because I rarely go to city, because I live out in the countryside with my animals, I get really stressed really easy. It's like I lose a bit balance, and then I say I'm not that balanced. I have to go back home and get balanced again. And then my animals help me with that. And it doesn't have to be just a dog or a horse. I've had horses too, but I have chickens and I've had rabbits. And it doesn't matter what kind of animals you have, because all animals has got something to teach us in some way.
Yes, I have birds, a lot of birds outside where I live, and in some way it's a communication there with the birds, and it's beautiful to hear the song of the birds and what they are doing.
It makes us happy. I can feel so
Yes.
happy as I feel the birds, feel the smell of the flowers. And so, yeah. So this is what we wanted to share with you folks, that a little bit about who we are and how we think around animals. We will also be doing some interviews with people with their perspective with when it comes to animals. We would very much like you also to share your experience around animals, because we want people to be more aware and listen more to animals and nature and see them for truly who they are. That will give the animals a better life, but also our lives changes in a positive way when we do that, when we see and connect with the animals and nature. I usually, when I teach my students in the end of their education, I have this therapeutic. I try to prepare them the role as a therapist for animals, and I always ask them, "Do you know that you're going to work as a therapist for animals?" And 99% says no. They want to treat animals, but they don't think about the role they have as a therapist. So I prepare them by, I call it the therapeutic world, I call it. And I use horses and I use dogs as therapists for them, because people usually want animals to do things for them. That's why we train them, because we want them to do things for us. We give them treats, we do all kinds of stuff with them, and teach them different things, and that's okay. But it's because we want them to do something for us. But when I was working with equine assisted psychotherapy, we were the ones, we had to listen to the horses and we had to connect with them without a bridle, without any treats, so we couldn't touch them, but we had to try and connect them from a deeper level from inside us. And that I don't teach my students, but I take them on this journey through these 2 days so they can connect with themselves, because horses are big mirrors that mirror directly who you are, very much. Those emotions that is the most superficial emotions come out very easily. So I prepare my students to try and teach them to see animals in a different way, and I love to work with that, actually. That's yeah. And also with my dogs, I do it the same. And to try, and when you take away a dog lead or a color or whatever, and you ask them to connect with them, many people find that very difficult. And some people say that's totally impossible. So we as a human species, we do have many issues that we need to deal with. And animals are really good at helping us if we want to, if we really listen. They're good at helping us for that.
Yeah, it's the co-creation and the openness in listening in.
Yeah, that's
both to yourself, but also to the animal.
really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's.
Yes, and we love to have your experience as well, and please share, because I think everyone here can benefit from everything which we are sharing here in this group, and I'm so looking forward to what else we are coming to accomplish with this group, and yes,
And share it. definitely, please share it with your friends and family, and we want more members to join up and really want to hear your stories too, because we all has got something to learn from each other.
Yeah. And of course, this is also a part of the bigger picture when we are seeing nature and animals and ourselves also in a better way, and understand ourselves and the animals and nature also. Also, the whole world will change. So that's the bigger aspect of all this, and why we also are passionate about doing this. So please share, everyone, and we are so happy you are here with us, and looking so much forward to what we are going to share further on.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.